Welcome to tutorial 4 of the personal cashbook training. Please accept my apology for my more than croaky voice. It's winter and it's early in the morning, and hopefully tutorial 5 will be my normal croaky voice. In this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to split transactions if you want to allocate a transaction to more than one account. So let me show you an example. Let's take this transaction here, where you paid a bank on that account number an amount of 3,750 Rand, and in that amount you paid for your household insurance as well as your car insurance, and you would like to split the expense of your household insurance on the summary of income and expenses between insurance household and motor vehicle insurance. But now it's coming through on a debit order on your bank account in one amount, so you want to split that transaction. Now you cannot insert a row on the cashbook worksheet A because it is protected with about 18,000 formulas in it. So we need to make another plan, and that plan is to use the splitting worksheet. And how that works is you would copy over, listen carefully, the entire cashbook, not just that transaction that you want to split, the entire cashbook, including the total column. Copy, left click on the splitting worksheet, make sure you go to the very top cell of the splitting worksheet, right click and paste. And it will then duplicate the cashbook that you want to split a transaction on. And of course you could want to split more than one transaction on this cashbook. But let's teach you using an example of this transaction. So now what you will do, you will insert a row just below that transaction or just above it, it doesn't matter. You can copy the same details over for that transaction, and you can calculate how much you want to split between the different two accounts. And if you have your insurance policy and you know exactly how much it is, it's very simple. And then you would go negative 800 Rand for your vehicle insurance and negative 2950 for your household insurance. But just make very sure that when you have finished splitting the transactions, that the total amount of the split transactions agrees to the original amount of the transaction. Because even if you leave a cent off or a rand off, your cashbook will no longer balance to your bank statement because you have changed the amount of the transaction. So make sure once you've split the transaction that it is adding up to the original transaction amount. Once you have finished splitting, and as I said, you could go on and split more transactions. You could split it into 3 transactions if you wanted, or 4 or 5. There's no limitation. And once you've done that, you will then copy that cashbook back over into your cashbook worksheet. But now you need to be careful because an extra row has been added, and we've already done some allocation here. So the allocation alignment is now going to go out because we've inserted a row into these 4 columns of the cashbook. So let's go and do that. Let's just copy it over, right click and paste. So these ones are still fine. They're still aligned because we only inserted a row lower down. Here's where we inserted. So from here, the alignment is going to go out because this coding must now be next to the transaction below it. So be very careful, preferably do all your splitting before you even start coding. Otherwise you are going to get the alignment of your coding totally mixed up. You're not going to be a happy chappy. But I am also very sure that you are going to become an expert at this, because the more you use it, the more you understand it, the more fun it becomes, and you will be an expert at it soon. Then, of course, you will allocate the transactions that you split. Landed right on them. This was then what you wanted to take to motor vehicle insurance. And this is what you wanted to take to household insurance. Household. Okay. So once you've then done all your splitting on a particular cashbook, go and delete that cashbook from the splitting worksheet so that you can bring your next cashbook over that you want to split, if there is one. because if the next cash book has fewer lines than this cash book has, and it only copies up to row 41, for example, it will leave the balance of the transactions from the first cash book you brought in, and then you'll also get your cash books confused. So go and clear your splitting worksheet out once you have split a particular cash book. Just please be aware that if you import a bank statement into a cash book and it fills up the whole cash book, all the lines that are available on the cash book for transactions, and then you still want to go and split transactions, which means you're going to add in additional lines, it's not going to let you. So if it happens in a month that you have more transactions in a cash book than the lines allow, then please email me to let me help you to get your cash books with enough lines in it. There is another option to create a new sheet, because the creating new sheet does bring the closing balances of your cash book forward into a new one. So you can enter the balance of the transactions that are not fitting in on a cash book in a cash book that you create using the Create New Sheet button. And that will then just mean that you will have two summary of income and expenses for that particular period, whether you're doing your cash books weekly or monthly or quarterly, whatever the case may be. That you have those two options, to either bring the balance of the transactions on the Create New Sheet or to email me to help you to insert more lines on the cash book. Okay, so that's splitting. I trust that you got through it okay with my croaky voice, and I look forward to speaking to you again in tutorial 5. Ciao for now.